So now is my own time, not as the MC session. So I'd like to extend my personal welcome to all of the CESA participants that came to visit us in Pattaya this year. And I'm very proud to be a part of the organizing committee to welcome you to this important event. But I'm humbled to share the stage with the two main mentors in my career. First is Kun Pisit Napatum. I remember when I was a vet student in Chulalongkorn University, as a sophomore student, Kun Pisit came and gave a lecture when he was a Secretary General for Wildlife Fund Thailand, and that actually broadened my horizon and actually get me interested in working with the wildlife conservation world. Second, also, Dr. Thiripat Priyusit was the chief of the Khao Nang Ram Research Station when he was doing a PhD. I had a good chance to get on the helicopter with him when he was doing the survey on the gaurs and banteng in the World Heritage Site, Hue Thai Kang Wildlife Sanctuary. So I'm very humbled to be here and actually trying to address some highlights of the progress from the Zoological Park organization. Kun Pisit started with a very challenging question. Is wildlife extinction preventable? I think deeply in our heart, we believe the answer is yes. That's why we're here in this business in terms of educating the next generation, trying to appreciate values of nature and wildlife. But I'm not sure how can we actually win this war, but we have to believe in it, and we have to have a faith in terms of working with wildlife conservation. So my talk today is trying to introduce to you to answer the challenge placed by Kun Pisit that he wants to see more people, more financial support, more projects being implemented on the ground. You have listened to Dr. Pat about attempts from the main authority in Thailand that protect national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, but also DNP has 24 wildlife breeding centers around the country as a ex situ component, or the assurance, as Kun Pisit mentioned, is a backup plan in case something failed in the wild. So I'm trying to show you in the next 20 minutes or so about the attempts from the ZPO trying to consolidate our mission in terms of saving, doing research and conservation projects. So the ZPO's social missions as a part of CESA and WASA, we know that our mission also rhyme with the regional and global professional organization. We are doing conservation research and also education. Of course, we started small. We started with the sustainable way. We do whatever we can in the limited budget and human staff that we have. But the conservation and research programs under the leadership of Dr. Sumet Kumonarnath here has been developing significantly over the past 5 or 6 years. And this is not our statement. This is the last bullet point was actually addressed by one of the ZPO board of directors, as well as some of the key partners that they said the ZPO is known for its successful research and conservation programs. And I want to highlight it here. The evolution of the research and conservation function, it's been a technical division for about 3 decades with 2 to 5 staffs because it has not been one of the core functions of the ZPO, but it has been developing along with the growth and the evolution of CESA and WASA. So the Division of Conservation Research and Education has been established since 2006. When I joined, we had 9 people. We went on a workshop. We only take 1 van. But right now, at present, we've become the Bureau of Conservation Research and Education. We have about 30 plus staff. And then we will be transformed to the Endangered Species Conservation Research Institute starting next year. The funding came from this year, fiscal year budget, about $1 million. About 60% of that will go into building a small building on the Khao Kiao Open Zoo ground, and also some equipments budget, and also to relocate the staff from Bangkok to be based in Khao Kiao Open Zoo. Our visions are to consolidate and strengthen the endangered species conservation research and training activities for the ZPO. And also we would like to represent the ministerial capacity as well as Thailand's national capacity, working hand in hand with the DNP and other partners. The second mission is to serve as centralized, coordinating, and facilitating unit for all the ZPO zoos, because we have now 5 zoos in operation and 2 more in making. So it's a little bit challenging to coordinate the things that are happening in Chiang Mai Zoo, in Songkhla Zoo, in Khao Kiao, in Dusit, and in Korat Zoo. But we are trying our best to do so. And also we would wish we can be the leader in the species conservation and research in Southeast Asia, working hand in hand with CSIR. Our missions are to conserve endangered species of Thailand by the population and genetic management in captivity. Second is to conduct the sounded research to improve breeding success, the health and the welfare of our captive wildlife in our collection. Number 3 is to build capacity for Thailand and Southeast Asian wildlife specialists and veterinarians in terms of making more experts in this field. And the last is to respond to national policy related to wildlife health and conservation. So hopefully these 4 missions are not too challenging, and we hope we can accomplish them. Our core expertise based on our people, our human staff, and also our facility, I think we are quite keen in doing necropsy and diagnostic pathology, how to find out what were the cause of death for every animal that we lose. We also quite keen in doing disease diagnostics using laboratory and using not only our lab but our partners' lab as well. I think we are pretty keen in small population management, as you may see in terms of Siamese elk deer or clouded leopards program. We have been doing a lot of captive breeding and assisted production. At least we have 2 PhDs in this field, and we're making a few more. We just hired a PhD molecular geneticist to join us to try to start the genetics lab. And also we have a lot of wildlife biologist graduates working for the zoo, trying to help with our conservation projects like the Saras cranes and the elk deer in terms of linking in situ and ex situ conservation. And last is the species recovery and reintroduction science. I think we have developed a lot of capacity on that. This chart may be a little bit busy, very small, but I like to point out that under the ZPO Director General, we have 1 or 2 deputy DGs to take care of the ESCRI. We have right now planned for 5 centers. The first one is National Wildlife Repository Center, so the tissue banking. We would hope to collect anything from the dead tigers in the Hoi Kakang forest, also the dead animal from the zoos. We would love to collect tissue samples, blood serums, hairs, everything for the future research use. The second group of the task would be the Diagnostic and Pathology Center. We would be able to provide answers to every death in the major valuable animals. We would like to equip this center with the clinical pathology, microbiology laboratory for molecular genetics as well. The third center would be the Conservation Genetics Center. So it speaks for itself. It's all using the DNA technology and cell technology, trying to solve inbreeding, hybridization, and something like that. The fourth is the Species Survival Center that would focus on small population management, clinical nutrition, conservation biology, and reintroduction science. So it would be lumped in this center. The last one is a little bit distinctive. It's a reproductive science and assisted reproduction center that will focus on collecting the sperm, freeze them in the bank, trying to do insemination, produce the babies, and also using the higher technology to help with the wildlife conservation toolbox. Our staff, Dr. Sumet has now led a team of about 40 plus people, and all the centers would have a chief of its own, and each team would have a mixture of wildlife biologists, nutritionists, geneticists, zoologists, veterinarians, pathologists. We now have about 3 PhDs and 10 DVMs and masters, and about 27 bachelor staff. And of course, we work with all the zoos. Each zoo has its own division of conservation research and animal health. So we have about the troop or the army of the green shirt people. So we are the green shirt. Maybe we have about 100 plus people trying to do this work. Our facility range from laboratories, a vet hospital, animal facility, necropsy buildings, and labs. We have grouped the research programs into four. The first one would be about the zoo and wildlife health, not strictly in the captive population, but also reach out into the wild. We're trying to do the good medical programs and preventive medicine and make sure the animals in the zoos are healthy. And also, we would like to set disease surveillance system at the interface between wildlife and human, as well as wildlife and livestock. That's the first group of the research programs. Program number 2 would be about reproductive science, because you know very well, because sometimes we don't get the breeding pairs of animals to reproduce routinely. So sometimes techniques like artificial insemination, embryo transfer steps in to help us achieve or overcome some problems in breeding. The third program will be using genetics techniques, either cytogenetics or cells and chromosomes, as well as molecular techniques like DNA, trying to help us do our work better in terms of maximizing genetic diversity, minimizing inbreeding. And the last program would be the endangered species recovery, which is very challenging. The conservation programs also goes along with the research, but more on the applied side. Of course, you have seen many pictures from Kunpisit and Dr. Thirupat's presentation, as well as the video presentation this morning about the Sarah's crane, and you will hear more tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Of course, we show the picture of released elk deer and burros. Of course, we're working on the neglected wildlife as well, not only the charismatic species. But I'm not saying Malayan tapirs and seals and flying leopards are neglected, but we have not been able to reintroduce those yet, and the challenge has been addressed by Kunpisit and Dr. Thirupat this morning. The conservation program also, we are trying to invest in freezers, in liquid nitrogen tanks, and also systems that can contain and preserve the genetic tissues, either live cells or dead cells, for the future research. So we don't have to work with the animals, live animal every time. Of course, we work with many partners, all the ZPO zoos, the DNPs, and Public Health Ministry, Agriculture, Livestock, International Organization, and many more universities that I cannot even list up here. I'd like to show you these two slides of the research budget. This is in the unit of US dollars. So I was showing 2007 to right now is 2011. That's when the ESCRI budget came in place. So we are building this little small building in Kaukyo Zoo, and from next year on we will be fully operational. So we have something in the perimeter of about 1.8 to almost $2 million this year. For the research project itself, excluding salaries, excluding equipments, excluding everything, it's purely research grants. This is reviewed by the National Research Council of Thailand. We cannot apply for this money alone. We have to get the approval from the NRCT before we can go ahead and do the budget. So the total budget was about 3 to 5%, but research budget is about 1% average. So we are in the perimeter of $500,000 or $500,000 every year in the past 5 years. So thanks to everyone's support. So our main goal is to build capacity to future generations on veterinary anesthesia, assist reproductive technology, population management, field epidemiology for veterinarians and wildlife emphasis. And of course, you might have heard about this new theme of the One World and One Health approach that links human health, wildlife and environmental health, and livestock health, and integrated conservation. So I'm going to show you some of the highlight of success, some of the state-of-the-art things that we do here, and try to achieve the best practice, for example, in vet anesthesia. So this is a picture at Dusit Zoo. We work with Chulalongkorn University Vet School and some interns to examine the wildlife. We have a vet hospital, small vet hospital, but fully functional for operations to get the tiger inside. At Kaukyo Zoo, we also have very nice integrated comprehensive vet hospital and laboratories to produce elk deer embryo. This is the Tamin elk deer under anesthesia, upside down, head down, the legs up, and you see the picture of our invited scientists from the United States and our team working together in getting eggs outside of the body and fertilize them with a frozen sperm, trying to grow embryos and put it back to the recipients. And now we have pregnancy. This is a picture of the first Elstere fawn-born insemination, not yet embryo transfer. Embryo transfer will be born in 2 months. It will be the first case in the world for the test tube endangered species Elstere. So keep the fingers crossed for us. We have been known also for the giant Panda Cub that was born from insemination in the Chiang Mai Zoo. We have a big team led by Kun Prasadsak and his crew, and also we have partners from Kasetsart University trying to help us. And finally, we managed to get the first AI-born Panda Cub in Thailand. It's become a rock star. One time it fell off the tree. It's made, again, a front page of the newspaper. And we have a facility at Chiang Mai Zoo Hospital to perform the radiography and make sure all the bones are intact. There's no broken bones, because a lot of fan clubs will go crazy if something is going on with this cub. We train our staff to be able to anesthetize the Malayan tapirs and provide on-site chest x-rays to screen for tuberculosis and other stuff. We can also detect pregnancy by ultrasonography. Without training, our staff don't know their own capacity. Or maybe that's not possible. Or maybe we can't do that. But when one time, the first time, if they've done it, they know their capacity is increased. So we can perform head, chest x-rays and foot x-rays on site at the exhibit for Malayan tapirs. And hopefully we can produce baby routinely. And this is again some detailed picture on how we moved the Elstere from wildlife breeding centers under the DMP, as well as Korat Zoo and Khao Keo Zoo, to be released into the wild. And you can see all the deers are radio collars, and we have been monitoring them for 3 years. Right now, if anybody go visit Dr. Tirupat's World Heritage site, you can find easily the population of Tamin Elstere under radio collars. Very, very primarily success story for us, because right now they have fawned in the wild and survived, living with tigers and predators and does and pythons. This is again the first time that the flying Saras crane photograph has been taken in Thailand from the Korat Zoo reintroduction program. And we've been quite excited about this year. This is the first time in 25 years. And now people can go and watch these cranes playing. You can see the antenna sticking out from its back. That's the satellite telemetry. It costs about $10,000. And this is something we're very, very proud of. And as according to Kun Pisit's statement this morning, CISA, one of us, every one of us, should find ways to join this kind of task force. And we also train state-of-the-art anesthesia for large mammals like giraffes. And these young faces that you can see, many of them in this room, will be our future capacity. We can perform standing X-ray for elephants. We can actually perform on-site digital imaging, so we don't have to take the film back, develop in the dark room. It's no longer that kind of era. We can pass the endoscope into the elephant vagina if we need to provide the insemination techniques or perform some sort of diagnostic procedures. Without the capacity building, our staff cannot do this work. This is a little video. I'm not sure if it plays, but this is the training course we just had 2 months ago at Khao Keo Open Zoo that trained on using narcotic anesthesia to bring down the elephants. So we successfully anesthetized 4 elephants, complete anesthesia, inserting the endotracheal tubes, and so we can perform all kinds of procedures with these mega herbivores. And our staff, animal keepers, curators, vets, scientists, has more confidence in this kind of practice. This is a picture that everyone is happy, animals safe, humans safe, no one gets hurt, we can get the job done. And this is again the first time for me to use the local-made electroejaculation probe made in Khao Keo Zoo. It costs $100 to work this probe, and Dr. Ampika there is ready to be pulled in case the white rhino waking up on her. So we have successfully collected the sperm for the white rhino at Khao Keo Zoo. According to Mr. Suriya, the director of Khao Keo, he wants to have AI rhinos in Thailand. And this is the team of the mobile lab. All these beautiful faces of the young, maybe not so young lady scientists that actually can come and play in dirts with us. So again, this is a picture of the team that we train on anesthesia monitoring, not only for ZPO vets, we also welcome DNP vets from the National Elephant Institute, university professors, all happy working with the ZPO. And our work has been nationally recognized. That's the picture of Dr. Sumet getting the Platinum Award from the Thailand Research Expo 2010. And I represented the Panda team, and we achieved the good research program by the Panda Project, and we received something from the ex-Prime Minister. So the future prospects, we will continue to work on species recovery programs. We would like to partner with the One Health initiatives. So not only working with wildlife, but also human health, because our keepers can get hurt. They are risky, working to taking care of animals every day. We have to protect them and their family members. And we would like to establish the tissue banking at the national level. So we will invest and keep all the blood, hair, serum tissues for the future researchers to be used. And we would like to establish an Institute for Zoological Management because it's not being taught in college. And we have new zoos. We need to build more capable staff to fill the jobs. We would like to be able to provide lab service to get incomes to support our research program. And also we would like to work with ASEAN country, Asia, Europe, North America to be a training center for Southeast Asia. And we would like to be a strong partner with the CISA and WASA. So this is a drawing of our new building that will be broken the ground in a few months on Khao Kieu Zoo. And we will, I like this motto that was in a book, The Future, that we are not more than a zoological park, we are a conservation research institution and also the learning organization. So all the partners in this room and more are welcome to visit us starting next year. And I'd like to again acknowledge and thank Dr. Sopon Damnui, our former DG of the ZPO, for his continuous support, and DG Pimuk Simarot for his continuation to take this ESCRI to be giving birth next year. And Deputy Director General Dr. Visit Vichasin and the Board of Directors, Budget Bureaus, and especially Director Surya Sangpong and his crew at Khao Kieu Zoos, and every other directors in ZPO Zoos for the generous support that can actually give us opportunity to work in all the zoos and create this beautiful experience to share with you today. So thank you very much for your attention.